So what exactly is a duke, and what are the perks of being one? Well, it's a title given to the most senior member of a noble family, outranking a marquis and a viscount and ranking below only a king or queen. Now, in theory, they get their title from the ancient Roman dukes, which themselves were appointed by the emperor to govern a province or territory, which is why when you meet a duke, you should curtsy or kneel before them. But nowadays, other than being called a sir or a madam, they don't really have any political power. But there are still quite a few perks to being a member of the British nobility. So let's get into it. They can travel on private jets. Thanks to the fact that many of them own private jets, traveling by commercial airlines is a thing of the past for most dukes and duchesses. In fact, the Duke of Westminster, aka the richest aristocrat in Britain, has his own private jet terminal at London City Airport. They can call the Queen by her first name. As close personal friends of Queen Elizabeth II, both the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge can call her by her first name, a privilege granted to very few people outside the royal family. They can invite the Queen to their home. As a Duke or Duchess, you can invite the Queen to stay at your home. And if you're lucky enough to have a spare bedroom, she will most likely take you up on the offer. After all, the royal palaces are often too stuffy, and it's nice for the Queen to get away from it all, especially if there's a spare bedroom. They get to keep their titles even after they're divorced. Unlike the royal family, the British dukes and duchesses can keep their titles even after they get divorced. However, they can't style themselves as such if they're not married to a royal. For example, the ex-wife of the Duke of York no longer has the title of Duchess, but simply goes by the title of Princess. They get to keep their titles if they commit a crime. While most people who commit crimes are stripped of their titles, this doesn't apply to members of the British nobility. Even if they commit crimes, they still get to keep their dukedoms, unlike the commoners. And if you think that's all, there's more. They also get to keep their titles if they die. In fact, even if you're not related to the royal family, you can become a duke or a duchess. All you need is money and influence. Now, while the British royal family may be a bit outdated, these titles are still widely used across Europe, with around 600 living European aristocrats holding the title of duke or duchess. So there you go, those are the perks of being a duke.